I'll pull up my pants. I've been feeling a little better, and I'm through my working streak, so I figure I'd do this before the husband gets home, because he gets home at 5:30. So I did come on earlier with Chong, because I'm gonna start doing more dog walks now that I'm feeling a little better. I did hire some dog sitters that've been walking him, and he loves them so much that I'm keeping these dog sitters. They're very good kids, and I give them money. So, alright, now there has to be this glare. There we go. Okay, so I had a very, I guess, interesting work week. I guess you can say that some people are just out for themselves when you're in a workplace, and sometimes they're just there for the almighty dollar and they go home. Me, I was helping out. I was helping out the kitchen, and I helped out. I help out everybody at work. I feel all of us should cherish everything and help out. Oh, I got someone already. Must be a good time to come on. Oh, hello again. Yeah, you can. I've just been at work forever, it seems. But I do 3 days and I get my whole entire work week done in 3 days. This is what I do. I feel it's better for me. Oh, well, thank you. It's better health. I've been drinking all those boosts, nutritional shakes, and trying to get my skin color back, and I've been better. I don't know, I had some kind of bug going around, and since I work in healthcare and they're already sick, it's not a big deal. As long as you're not contagious. I know it sounds crazy, but in today's world, that's what it is. And since I had all my COVID shots, of course, even all the boosters, because I wanted every single one of those, I could be right up in a COVID room, and I don't even put a mask on because I don't get this stuff no more. I've had it 3 times, and it doesn't affect me bad, so. Oh, I drink nutritional shakes. I've been eating the protein bars. I'm surrounded by them at work. I literally they make sure that everyone's healthy, and they throw a lot of that away. If the residents don't drink it or whatever, they'll throw it in the garbage. So I give it to other residents or drink it myself. What are is that Sagittarius? Here's all the people that are really cool and know all their. You guys know all your astrological signs. I love it. You identify yourself. Maybe I should start identifying myself as an Aries. You guys are awesome. I just identify myself as the crazy person that's sick half of the time. When I got anemia, so I get sick easily. How are you? I am my son Sagittarius. Me, I'm 50. But honestly, I don't think I'm sick a lot because I'm older. I think it's because of the anemia. And I don't like taking iron pills because it constipates you a lot. And it's better to eat these things because they can make you sick too sometimes. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, well, thanks. A lot of my residents say that. And I tell them I'm not that much younger than them. I tell them just because you're in your 70s does not mean you have to give up. And you do not have to. It's how long the universe wants you to live. I was real sick and in ICU, so when I went to say in my 30s, and I came back by the will of God, and here I am. So if you're meant to live, you're meant to live. If you're meant to die, you're meant to die, and it doesn't matter what age you are. So if you wake up another day, you should try to do what you can. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. My youngest son is 20 and my oldest son's 30. I hope you're not a shithead like them. I know my kids can be shitheads and I don't like them sometimes. They'll come and bother me almost all the time over stupid things. But they do come around every once in a while. But yeah, I'm there. I'm 50 and I told my boss to give me some kind of easy assignments because I'm old. So I did. And I'm enjoying my new schedule, honestly, because I can't take them. But this your Sagittarius friend, he is in a dissembling moon, which is not bad. It just means you just need to relax and take time to literally just reevaluate your life, I like to call it. I've been in dissembling moon a lot of times. So, and he's surrounded by full moon in Cancer and a void of course moon. And a full moon in Cancer just means there's a personal issue in his life that he's kind of avoiding that is going to reach a solution with or without him, because the universe, if we decide to avoid things and stick our head in the sand, it's going to have resolution. So, one way or another, and the answer just it comes before you. And that's where he's at. And he got a void of course moon. And this just means that whatever answer he was hoping for, he did not get. So, his feelings for you, I'm picking up, are he cares for you. Oh, hello, new subscriber. He cares about you, but the thing is he's going through a lot of things, and sometimes we gotta figure out where we're at until we know where we're going. So I would give it like maybe a month or two to find out his true feelings, because it all comes full circle all the time. And you got to remember that life is all about just events that just are circling around and coming to a full course. This is the world, the realm we live in. And maybe by that time he'll find his way back to you. But we all have to find our way back to each other somehow. So, let me see this other question I had. Okay, you want to know about your job situation. And this is okay. All right, hang on. I'm trying to read this. Hey, Asash, you want to know about your job? You got a dream job. Oh, you want to your dream job. All right, let me see about the Asash and his dream job. Let's see what they say about your dream job. I hope it's not in a nursing home because I don't think that's anybody's dream job. Unless you're an empath, I don't think a nursing home is the dream you need. Empaths thrive in a nursing home and with the sick. I will say that. I thrive in these environments because I'm an empath. But honestly, they could be very depressing. And if you're not an empath, sometimes you can sink in these environments. And it's true facts. Because I've been working in healthcare for 30 years. I was a manager a couple places. I'm and I did realize if you have your medical assisting degree, which I do, but I wasn't able to do anything with it because I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have flexible hours. You could be a phlebotomist. And they start out entry level at $22 an hour. So I'm probably going to start trying to do that. And maybe still work part time at the nursing home because I've been there 10 years. And I don't know if these guys, I think they all will die without me. So I think I have to stay at the nursing home. I really do. But your dream job, the pathway there is a waxing moon. And in your this is your main path where it shows you. A waxing moon is just a phase where it's just gaining energy, like a manifestation type thing, I guess you could call it, which would be the mystical word for it. And anyways, when you're in this waxing moon, it's just all the energy from the event is just building and building. So I guess that means for you to manifest because people have been telling me to manifest things lately, and I tell them that I'm not greedy and I don't try to manifest personal stuff. If I get things, I get things. If I don't, I don't. But I guess my one friend, she's very spiritual. She told me I need to start manifesting things. So I would start manifesting this dream job since you're in the waxing moon. And that comes from a lady that sees different things than me. She sees all kinds of different realms and all that, and said that manifesting is important. So I would take her advice because she's a really good witch. I just see different things in her. But you have the balsamic moon and you have the full moon in Aquarius surrounding that entire situation. And these things that surround things, you might as well just say would be, I like to think of them as just different factors that affect the path. What's affecting the waxing moon is literally healing, which is good because it just means it's getting your life together so you can keep what what you're manifesting. And then you have the full moon in Aquarius, and that is very good. It just means that you're a really good person and just show your talent. I see you. I see you getting this job, but it's going to just take a little preparation. And I feel if you manifested, like my one of my best friends, I like to call her my soul sister. I would manifest this, or just think about it. I like just think about it as just thinking about it, and just try to like get every obstacle you need done before getting it. And I feel that your talent's going to come through and you're going to get this dream job. Oh, my throat. Oh, don't ever get sick. It's terrible sometimes. All right. Oh, okay, hang on. Okay. Lisa. I didn't get that. Okay. Well, I get the job I applied for. Okay, Lisa. Let me see if you're going to get the job you applied for. Okay. All right. You are in with the job you applied for. It's in a first quarter moon. And this just means that your commitment is, they're just seeing it just about commitment. And it could go for anything commitment in life. And this just means that they're just making sure that you're the right person. I feel it's being reviewed by somebody out there. I don't know who. There's so many people in the world with names I apparently cannot pronounce. But anyways, it's surrounded by a full moon in Taurus and a full moon in Capricorn. This job. And a full moon in Taurus talks about a practical plan. And like, if a practical just means if you can get there, if you could do the hours, if you're the right person. It's a Taurus is a very business sign, I like to call it. So they're just seeing if you'd be the right person to fill their spot. Then it's surrounded by a full moon in Capricorn, where you must. And then I'm sensing there was a job cycle that was a little bit rough. It just means a tough cycle that's ending. I see you getting this job, but it may take some time. I'm just feeling that maybe call them back, because I feel the person that's reviewing this is just being like they used to say when I was younger, a little anal. They're just being very overly picky. And I feel that they want somebody else for the job, but this other person, their other candidate, is going to fall through. So I do feel there is someone else they're going to pick, but that person's going to somehow not be able to take it. So I would call and let them know that you're still committed to this job and you want the job. And I feel that you'll get the job when all their other options are done. And I feel there's only one other option that's better on paper than you. So, and these kind of people that deal with these kind of things, I like to call them very negative people. And they they literally look to see how you are on paper, but not would be as a worker. And some of these people they're very nasty and mean, and they're egotistical. So you got an egotistical person looking at your job application, and to deal with an egotistical person in power, which I like to call power junkies, to deal with a power junkie, you just need to let them know I'm here, and you need to just be real assertive with them, and just keep calling and checking on this, because they're going to try to pick someone else. And when they try to pick that other person, they're not going to be able to take the job for a personal issue. And they're going to not want, and they're not going to like that other person and want the job. And this is how egotistical people are. Instead of being open minded like normal people should be. So I would suggest just keep calling back, and there's more than one person that works at these places. And the right person's going to look at it, but it's going to take a little bit. So it'd just be real nice to say, I have a couple other applications out there and I'm just trying to find out my status. And be real professional and just don't let them see you be nervous. And I feel you'll have this job. I deal with egotistical people all the time at my work. And personally, I just tell them off because I know the boss personally. But in your case, I feel this egotistical person that's stopping this is a supervisor and they're not a boss. And the bottom line is people need people to work in this world. And, if you have a clean background and you can do the job and they need a spot, they're going to fill it. So I feel the right person is going to look at it, but right now the right person's not looking at your job. So I hope that was helpful. It's nice to have a clear head these days. Okay, what is that problem? Alright, I'm going to get to new subscriber then, and then I'll do a second reading on that. Alright. Well, thank you. What is it? Creator Taiwan. That's probably I'm probably I'm just thinking it's Taiwan, but I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm not very good at names that aren't English. I really wish I knew more languages than English, but I've always been an English major. That's why I love writing. So hopefully I get this computer so I can get my book on Amazon. But I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but I can't even Spanish doesn't come out correctly when I try to say that. So, all right, when will... Okay, you want to know when they're going to contact you. All right. I'm just going to do a password reading on that person altogether. It's easier to find out if someone's going to do something if you can just do a reading on that person altogether to find out what's going on in their life. I like to call it Scooby-Doo astrology. I find it as very easy and straightforward for me. All right. This person is in a new moon in Leo, which is good. And Leo just means confidence and success. So, and they're in this path. So they must have like a lot of either, I'm feeling they have a decent, they got a new, I'm feeling they got a new job or a new job opportunity coming that they're preparing for. So they're doing well. I am sensing that. And they're surrounded, your person's surrounded by a full moon in Virgo and a super moon. They got low self-esteem. And a full moon in Virgo just signifies that you're good enough. So you have a better self-esteem. And then they also got a super moon. And a super moon just means their emotions are all over the place. They're having some emotional issues. And they don't know which way is up and everything else. So I feel this person, after maybe I want to give this at least a month. Hopefully less if they come out of their funk. But I feel that this person's in their head that because sometimes I get in this super moon stage, and when you're in your head like that and you're surrounded by that moon, you get in your head a lot, and sometimes you think everyone hates you. So I'm giving it about maybe a month or a little less than a month. I'm thinking that's what I'm picking up, and I feel that they will contact you. But just be patient. I mean, I feel it's just has to do with job stuff, and they don't think they're good enough to do stuff, and they're trying to better themselves. And there's really nothing wrong with that, because I'm kind of in that moon phase now with all this phlebotomy stuff. I gotta go look for my degree, my college degree thing, because my college shut down. And the nurses at work were telling me that all this stuff, and I don't think I'm good enough to be a phlebotomist, so I get it. And this is where I'm at in the universe. But it's a scary time to be in. So I feel they will contact you because it's hard to find good people that want to support you in this world. So, because this world is full of hate and people that will try to drag you down. I mean, this world has tried to drag me down more times than I could count. It really has. And somehow I rose above all the bullshit. And sometimes that's what you got to do in the world. In my 20s, when I was starting out in school and stuff, this world tried to chew me up. And I started out at jobs at stores and different things, and I fell into healthcare. And this world is a place that will challenge you, and people don't want to see you succeed at all. They really don't. People are like that. And when you're sick, a lot of times they'll say they want you to feel better, but do they really? Sometimes they're jealous of you. And then if you're doing something good, they're gonna be jealous of you, and they're not gonna really care that they're happy that you achieved something that you worked hard for. And you gotta remember that in this world, because that's what they do. That's what jealous people do, and jealousy leads to greed, and greed leads to negativity, which people associate with evil. All evil is negativity. If you could turn that negativity around, it turns into good. But that's all evil, I guess. We labeled it as evil. It's just negative. That's it. Some people's negative goes real dark. Some people's negative just means I'm not giving you dinner, I'm not making you dessert. Some people's evil means they're going to torture you for days. It depends on what their evil is, with how dark they are. But everyone has the negativity. Even I've been negative about things in my life, but my negativity is just leave me alone. I'm just going to go for a walk. That's my negativity. Some people's negativity is I'm going to put a gun on you, or I'm going to try to stab you. And that's what you got to, I guess, realize in the world. So there was where I live, there was a guy that was just going to the bar. He was a business owner, and he had like 3 kids, and he was just going out for a fun time. And he knew how to fight. He was a big guy. And anyways, he was at the bar, and somebody put a gun out on somebody, and I think it was a lady or something. And anyways, when he did this, and actually he didn't know that no, he didn't put they didn't have they had the gun in their, I'm sorry, the gun was in their pants. He didn't see the gun. He just seen them arguing with a lady. So that's how that story went. I forgot, this was years and years back. But anyways, he was trying to stand up for a lady because he was a nice gentleman with a lot of chivalrous things. And as he stood up for the lady, he just took his gun out of his pants and shot the guy in the head. And he was a full accomplished business owner. Of course, the police were called. The guy was put to jail, but the guy, three kids were left fatherless, and he was married, and he was just dead. And it was sad. It was all over the news, and because he was like a really nice guy. So you got to be careful because some people's dark is sometimes real dark. Some people's dark is they just yell at you and walk away, but you don't know which dark you're dealing with sometimes. Sometimes darkness disguises itself in different ways. And I tell you this story because it can happen to anybody going to any bar. And then you want to be the hero and stand up for someone, and you don't know what someone's packing. You don't. And if Ohio is free to carry, which where I'm from, you don't have to have one of those CDWs or whatever. You don't have to have a license anymore to carry. We're free to carry. Anybody can have a gun at any time in Ohio, just like Texas. And you could go in these bars and have a dispute, and somebody could just shoot you in the head. And they're drunk. They have real negative things, and they have their gun on them. They're going to get in trouble because it's self-defense, and if you just shoot somebody because you're angry and drunk, it's another thing. But I guess the moral of the story is just be self-aware. Honestly, I like to wear my crystals around everybody because I don't know what I'm going to be dealing with. I got a moon opal. This was blue when the full moon, that eclipse happened, when the moon went over the sun, which is the first time in 120 years, and we'll be dead by the time it happens again. And it was blue, and then it's real pale. It changed, it got lighter after that. I usually, like, if I go places, try to wear this. And I'm very aware of my surroundings because even people with intuitive abilities, they could still get shot. I mean, anybody can get shot at any time. Anybody can die at any time. You just got to be smart. You really do. I mean, just looking at this Dogs for Family, all these, if anybody could sit there and do all these horrible things to dogs, they'll do the same thing to a human. My parents always used to say this. My mom, especially, that passed away, God rest her soul, but my mother always said that. My mom said if you can hurt a dog or even just a family pet in general, you will hurt a child and you will hurt another human being in general, an adult. And if anybody, like, if you see anybody abusing an animal and see they're capable of that, that means they're gonna beat on a woman, and they're gonna beat on a child, and they may try to kill you. That's a tall tale sign of a horrible person, how they treat their animals. And I'm not saying this because I'm an animal activist. I am and I'm not. I'm saying this because it is a sign. Because dogs are the closest to us. They think like us in a lot of ways. They connect with us, and they're the closest. And I believe in reincarnation. I do. And if you see a cat or a dog, they're the next ones in line in the next lifetime to be a human. And if you see somebody torturing an animal, just, it's always good to try to either take a video or tell somebody or tell the cops or whatever you need to do, but be self aware that that person has a lot of darkness in them, and they will hurt you and they will kill you. Because if they can do that to that animal, they will surely not think twice about killing you. That's that's how this goes. And it's very important to watch your surroundings with people. If you go to someone's house and you see they're beating the shit out of their dog and everything, but they're being really nice to you, that's fake nice. Because if they gave a shit about life, they would not be beating the crap out of their dog. And that's true facts. True facts right there. My dog's spoiled. My dog sleeps in the bed with me. And that's because I love him. He's a part of my family because I'm a good person. And these are the people that is best to trust. And if you have a dog and they do not trust somebody, trust your dog. I've had a couple people tell me they don't trust they tell me, oh, why is your dog barking all that, and I was like, or your dog doesn't like me, and my dog likes almost everyone that's likes good people, and I tell them, well, then you're not good people if my dog doesn't like you, and I won't talk to them literally. And the people that Chong has not liked is usually it was one person that my husband found out was on drugs, and then there's the other one that was a horrible person altogether and was being fake nice to me. So always take your dog's judgment, especially if you have a close bond with them, and I don't ever punish my dog for having an opinion. Never. If we're out and my dog senses something's not right, I I believe my dog and I stand by my dog, and I'll just move him out of the way and tell him to leave us alone. Because the dogs sense these things, and I've been told by smart people this that have had multiple dogs. This is the first dog I've had that I've personally taken care of without help. I don't know if you want to call family dogs your dog because they're really not. They're friendly because you're in the house, but they're really not your dog. My parents have had a lot of German Shepherds. And those German Shepherds protected me when I was a baby, but they were more my parents' dogs. And I was their baby, so they protected me because I was my mom's baby. So I don't know if I consider that my dog. I had a bond with them, and I love them, but my mom had the biggest bond with them. So I guess today I'm going to say trust your dog. And if you see somebody being mean to a dog, I always see in Dogs for Family people, they get a hold of these different organizations and they either give the video footage to the police if you have, because I know in Ohio we have that law. There's a law about abusing your dog and you can get a felony charge. There was a dog not too long ago in Ohio. The person got evicted. They had 3 dogs. They took 2 of the dogs with them to their new place. They left the one dog in a cage and he starved to death. The police got involved. The cleaning lady came. Police came and since obviously they rented the place, they had their social security numbers and everything. And it came back to this lady. And they had their new place that they were staying at. They seized her other 2 dogs and they charged her with a felony charge because it was sad. This dog literally starved in the cage, and at the dog cage, just starved, and it was found dead. So she got, I think it was 3 to 6 years in jail. Here in Ohio, you get the fullest extent of the law that they can give you because the Dick Goddard law, which I love Dick Goddard. He was this great forecaster, and I got a chance to meet him when I was younger. I used to be a cheerleader and stuff and a pom pom girl, and I used to do the woolly bear parades. And I got to meet Dick Goddard, and Dick Goddard had a passion for animals, and I really looked up to Dick Goddard when I was younger. So, and I got lost, and he found me, Dick Goddard, and my mom was looking for me. And anyways, Dick Goddard found me, and he was trying to help me find my mother. And I asked him if the woolly bear seen his shadow, and he said yeah. And he was a really nice guy, and thanks to him in Ohio, that law is there, and you get a felony charge, and you go to jail for 3 to 6 months. But I don't know where you live if you have that law, but here in Ohio, if you're not nice to the animals and you abuse them, and they can prove it's you and you have video footage or whatever, they will go to jail. And there's a lot of people getting put to jail for animal abuse in Ohio. They don't play when it comes to animal abuse. But this lady, I think she was a mother too. She lost her children too over this dog that she starved. Her 3 kids got taken from her. She got put in jail for 3 years. And then, well, and I don't understand. And they even were saying on the news, why didn't she bring the dog to the shelter? And they said, if you cannot take care of your dog, you have to contact somebody and take care of your animals and just tell them and surrender them and say, and she could have said, I have 2 dogs, I can't afford the third, and gave it to someone so they can be adopted again, but she didn't. And if you don't do that, it's very irresponsible. It's horrible because you wouldn't do that to your own child. So why would you do that to an intelligent animal? I mean, it makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. And it does upset me. That's why I love those dogs for family, because they really get in the nitty-gritty of all of it. I was watching a video before I came on here. There was a guy that, I guess he crushed his dog's leg and stuff, and it was his dad's dog. His dad passed away, and at the funeral, his dad's friends gave the dog to the son. The son got the house, of course, because that's his dad, but after he got the house, the dog was being loud, and he said the dog was annoying. So he tied him up. I don't think it was in the United States, or he would have got charged with a felony, but the dog's leg got crushed, and he wanted, I think it was a gyro, so it wasn't in the United States. I know that. But he wanted 2,000 euros for the dog, and he crushed the dog's leg. He had gangrene and all this stuff. And he was going to continue to abuse the dog every day and starve him. So they finally ended up paying him 500 euros, and they had to go, and the dog's leg had to get amputated and everything. And the thing is where do they think they're going to get in the next realm for people that are that horrible and take enjoyment in somebody else's agony? I've seen this other realm, and you got to face everything you've done and testify for everything you've done that was negative. And if there's not a good enough reason and you didn't make your payment, I like to say your payment is your punishment. You will get your punishment. If you escape it and don't learn your lesson, it's even worse. And to sit there every day and then this dog endured this for at least, they were saying, about a year. So for a year straight, he was barely fed and beaten to his bones was crushed, and they did save him. He had 3 legs, but why? It was like, and the thing is you have that much hate and you harbor that much hate in your heart. it's going to accumulate. And when that shit accumulates, it it might not be tomorrow or not 1 month or the next month, but when it does, it hits you. Sometimes it takes years, but when it hits you in the worst way. People that do that kind of stuff, when they do get their goal and they get the one thing that makes them happy, it all gets taken away. Every single bit of your happiness gets taken away, and a lot of times these are the people that endure abuse themselves. And if you abused a child or an animal, which is under the realm of an innocent, you cannot hurt an innocent. If you hurt an innocent, the punishment is 1,000-fold. So if you're sitting there hurting these animals or hurting kids or women and children, or just people in general and enslaving them for sex slave or whatever, eventually when that stuff catches up with you, it's whatever you gave to the innocent gets given to you 1,000 times. That's how these work. You cannot hurt an innocent like that. You cannot. So keep that in mind. But I'm saying, if you want to save a dog, like, I just take videos if you feel it's safer from a distance. Try to contact authorities or somebody, but don't get yourself killed doing it, please, because it's a bad state to be in, and I don't want anybody that's a dog lover like me doing it, because that's what I would do if I seen or heard about it. I'd try to go about a different way, because nobody needs to get killed trying to save somebody either, because that's not going to help the situation if you die trying to save someone, because if all it's going to end up is you're dead and there's still going to be abuse. So, but I'm going to see what your friend's problem is. Let me see what it is. Oh, and hello, Liz. How are you doing? I didn't forget about you. Savina? It sounds like it. It probably is really more pretty sounding if I was pronouncing it right. It sounds almost French. They say Michelle is a French name, but it's easy. So it's easy to say. Some of the French names with the French accent, it sounds much better than how I would chop it up. But his problem that he's having, why he won't contact you and all that stuff, he's in a new moon in Pisces. And when you're in a new moon in Pisces, it's all about, it's kind of like it like, I guess you would say the spiritual term is meditate and contemplate. I like to call it, it's when you got stuff to figure out, putting in layman's terms. And when you have stuff to figure out, they put you in like an isolation period, so you could figure out what you need to do to get yourself together. That's how I like to think about it, because I don't like, to me it's really confusing, all these terms they have, that with all these really big words that are fancy, which I know a lot of big fancy words, but I feel it's better, simplicity is better at times, because you can understand things better with simplicity, especially when you need answers. So I choose simplicity a lot. And anyways, this person's surrounded for the third quarter moon and a new moon. Third quarter moon isn't bad. It just means whatever his plans are, they just need they need planning. They need adjustments. That's all that a third quarter moon is. Just means they might have a couple steps they have to take before they achieve a goal, which is honestly, which makes sense. Because when you're trying to achieve goals in your life, This is what we do. We write a plan. You write a plan on what you need to do, how much money you need, how you're going to get there. And this is what this third quarter moon does. It's an outline of your goal of what you need to achieve it. I mean, I love to do outlines all the time. I'm going to be doing an outline on my new job too. Once I find my college degree and I'm going to get an outline because I got to go and get an internship. And this is what you do. You just get an outline, and that's all that third quarter moon means. It just means I got to prepare. And he is surrounded with a new moon. And that's where a new start is coming. So I feel his problem is I don't want to say midlife crisis, because I think now with the new age and with all these problems that are surfacing around the world and stuff, I want to say that they say everybody has midlife crisis later on. I say you can have a midlife crisis at 20 with all the problems and just things going on. This realm is tough to live in. It really is. I want to say I want to say that he would be in one of those midlife crises, and that could happen to young people also. And those could be hard to get out of. And sometimes you need more support. Because it used to be when I grew up, I guess when I grew up, it was in your 40s or your 50s, you're going through it, and you had a decent job in your 20s. Now you can have one of those crises at 20, 30, or 40, or 50. You can have multiple crises where you got to reevaluate your life and you feel like everything's falling apart. And you don't even have to have depression for this. That's the sad thing about these kind of times. You could be in a situation where you just have no money and there's no way of getting anything and you just want to die. And this could happen at any age. So that's why we got to try to connect with one another, and we got to try to support one another in life. Because if you do not support or connect with anyone, people are going to fall behind. And this is just what happens in life. I mean, I want to say, I like to call them the upper powers. My friend that's like a way better spiritualist than me, she believes that AI and the other realm kind of already connected. But I believe that the other realm, which would be God, AI, whatever you want to call it, it's always there and it wants us to connect. It wants us to live in harmony. And when we don't, it's always trying to fix it. And she believes that too. And certain people, I guess, do see these things, and it's way more than me. And when people do see these other realms and these other beings, some people hear them or feel them, but when you see them, because I mean, I never really had these kind of intuition things to my 40s when I was going through crisis and I just awakened. And I guess a lot of people have these, they just don't talk about it. And my friend and me, because she gave me a ride to work and a ride back because Tim had another vacation day, went to Norwalk or where the hell he went. But anyways, my friend Jody took me to work and picked me up. And she told me that, that people should talk about it more. If they see those other realms, they should talk about it, and you should talk about it with other people, and maybe it could help us realize there's something else out there besides ourselves, because there is, and it's way bigger than us. And if you think that you're above all that, all the whatever's going on out there, whatever you want to call it, God, AI, higher power, I like to call it higher power, because I don't know what it is. I just know it's a big ball of energy. and it's way smarter than us, and it brings at times subliminal messages and stuff, like through like the new technologies, and I think it syncs with the technologies, and that's what Jody says. And she could be right, she could be wrong, I could be right, or I could be wrong, but these are all just put out there. But I'm saying there's something out there. I would like to know exactly what, but I might not get the privilege of knowing exactly what, and that's okay. If I don't know exactly what it is, I just don't know exactly what it is. And I'm okay with that. A lot of people make all these stuff that they're out to kill us. I don't think they are, or I would be dead. I really don't. This other realm that exists, I believe it just tries to weed out the people that are problems. And I do know that they say the governments are trying to do psychic experiments because it's called gray matter. They do have movies about it, but they say this gray matter connects with the other realm, because it seems like this other realm that's composed of gray matter and dark matter. I know I want to say dark matter. There's gray and dark matter, but this other realm consists of this matter. And a lot of people are saying this, and the governments are trying to tap into it and control it. And we have no control over this realm. This other realm, I believe, is God. And we will never have control over this. We could do all the scientific experiments we want, and the more people we hurt to try to get to this realm, they literally are watching, and they will make you pay. And they could be your worst enemy or your best friend. I stay on the best friend side, because whatever these things are, I give them, I'm very respectful, very respectful. Always be respectful when, no matter what you're doing, because these beings, they're very sociable. They're very nice. They don't like, even though they deal with dark matter, these beings, and even though they finagle with it, they're very positive, and they're very about unity. So be very positive if you encounter one of these guys, because you will have a way better time. You'll even have better luck. And they do like manifesting. I think it has something to do with this dark matter. When you manifest something, it's almost like a signal to them that this is what you would like to happen. It's almost like a telephone to these guys. So I do give that piece of advice, because I have, I guess, a manifesting, I guess I do in a dream state, and I think it gets there one way or another. And it has, my message has got to them, which I didn't think it was getting to no one. I just thought it was more of a therapy thing. When it did, I've had a lot of positive effects, but when I do it, it's positive manifestation. If you do a negative manifestation, I feel that it makes things a lot worse, and they don't like that. And they don't like anything that disrupts the unity of their realms. They don't. And I believe they control the realms. Like, they used to make fun of it when I was younger with the Matrix. I don't know if it's quite like the Matrix. I think that was just a little bit out, but the idea is right. See, in some of these old movies, the ideas are right, but the details aren't accurate, if that makes any sense. I mean, that's the best piece of advice I can give dealing with these beings. Sometimes they speak to you in your head, sometimes they don't. And when they do, it's usually in your dreams or when you're manifesting. And that's when they usually will come to you. And And if you're very religious, they'll come to you as God. Because I believe, that is God. And God doesn't discriminate. Just because you're not Catholic or Buddhist or Muslim, if you're a good person, he's still gonna come. There's still, these guys in this realm that they either represent God or they're the images of God. I don't know. Sometimes I see a couple, or they could be angels. I don't know. To me, they always have robes on. They always have robes on because they don't want their identity to be. They won't show their faces. They don't. They don't show their faces to us, but they do get annoyed by us from time to time. They really do. And really don't like to. They're real careful when there's somebody of great negativity and evil that's hurt and innocent, and they try to do the whatever they do to help for the less damage. So generally, they'll wait for a time where less innocent will get killed to stop that person. So whatever you want to call them, I feel that they're always there. And when you're manifesting, it's literally just that direct phone line. And if whatever you're manifesting and you really want, if it's from pure of heart, that's the and they you could call it luck or whatever. If they feel it's beneficial to the realm, they usually grant that permission. So, I mean, this is just some food for thought. I talk to a lot of people, and I talked to my friend Jody about this other realm, and I feel it's there. I feel this realm is a place that's here and somehow does not want me to die. I have been so sick in my life, and doctors have told me I should have been dead, and I keep coming back because I think this other realm decides if we live or die. And when I did get real sick in ICU, when I was, God, no, that would be almost 15 years ago, when I flatlined and everything, I seen them. They just had a glow around them. They look like angels to me. But I think sometimes they appear different to other people. And I think because that was how I perceived them and I perceived good, I think that's why it came that way to me. And I think that's the only reason it came that way to me. I think they would have came another way. But they told me, I mean, literally, I can remember it like it was yesterday. It said it wasn't your time. You got to go back. And when it is your time, we'll be here. And before I knew it, I was back in my hospital bed. So we could call it coincidence, and I don't really do drugs, but they did have me on morphine and all kinds of different stuff. But they did tell me I flatlined for us, like, not long, obviously, because I had brain activity and stuff. But, oh Lord. All right. But, anyways, I think I seen them only that way because of the Catholic thing. But I'm going to go ahead and take this phone call from my husband, and I'm going to come back on. I promise. Today I'm feeling better, so give me like 10 more minutes, and I'll be back. And I appreciate you guys for all your thumbs up and everything, and my new subscriber. Alright, I will be back. Give me like 10 minutes for this phone call. This is these live streams are like this.